Blast me to Calmer's skull! It's time for the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey, Issue 61, Lore and Build Guides. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So we're beginning issue 61 today and a brand new mission pack on a brand new planet in the Ramesses system. So issue 61 brings us our third and final Toonblade. We'll take a closer look at him in a sec. And on the front cover we learn all about the Inquisition. We've got a nice imposing Inquisitor there. Building and painting a Toonblade, and we start the mission pack as I mentioned. So, as usual, we'll go through the contents of the magazine. We'll have a look at the frames. I'll cover the building and paint guides in this video as they are much what we've already seen before, just a few extra steps. And then I'll get this guy painted up, ready for the playthrough video at the end of the week. Right, first off, let's take a look at that new frame. I say new frame, it's actually the same frame as we've had twice before already. So in addition to the frame, we get a pair of flying stands and a flying base. So not necessary to paint the base, but I like to add the extra texture just to help tie the model in more to the rest of the army. And so our frame here is a Necron Toonblade, the same as we had before. So we've got the two halves of the actual bike itself. We've got our three different weapon options, so the Gauze Blaster, the Particle Caster, which is how we're going to be building this one, and we've got the Tesla carbines there. Got the engine parts, extra pieces there, the shield vanes, and some extra components there to attach our weapons and blades to. And of course we've got the components for the pilot himself. There's the other side. As you can see, Necron head is Necron warrior who's only got a single eye, but he's plugged right into his vehicle's sensory systems. So he has a pretty much 360 view of the battlefield around him. There we go. Like I said, I've actually come to like these more and more as I've been building and painting them through this magazine. So I'm quite looking forward to building and painting this one. I might at a later date, when issues start getting cheaper, pick up some more of these. So I'd like to get 2 more Teslas and 2 more Gauze, so I can run a squadron of 3 of each of those. Particle Caster I'm not too bothered with, so I'll keep it just for purposes of the magazine. Speaking of the magazine, here is issue 61. Move the base out of the way. So, what do we have in this issue? So, the full contents of the issue is we have background for the Inquisition, a new war zone, Manask, and the short story Festering Hordes. We build and paint our Toonblade. We then have a nice lot of additional gaming material. So, we've got the Cryptek Arcana, Blessings of the Faithful, Battle Forging and Detachments, Scout and Engage, and we also have the fold out for the Veteran Mission Pack. I'll cover all of that, of course, in the playthrough and rules video later in the week. So first off then, we've got the Inquisition, probably my favourite sub-faction of the Imperium, and I'm glad that we are getting a character pack which includes an Inquisitor. We are getting Katarina Greyfax. So it's the latest in a selection of specials that we get as subscribers for a rather reasonable price, actually, of £10 for a £18 figure. So nearly half price, or a little over half price. But we do get the magazine as well, so we get some new information on Greyfax. We probably get a special mission including her. We get all the rules for her using her, and of course a paint guide as well, so I'm looking forward to how they actually do that. Greyfax has been a model I've been planning to get for a while, and this is just the ticket I need to actually get around to picking her up and painting her. Of course, she came out quite a few years ago now. She came out at the end of 7th into 8th edition with the Triumvirate of the Imperium alongside Belisarius Call and the brand new updated version of Saint Celestine. She was one of the 3 heroes of the Triumvirate, and one of only 2 brand new models or brand new characters within that set. Celestine, of course, had been in existence for some time, but she had an old metal model, and the new one is so much chef's kiss better. I definitely need to pick her up at some point for my sister's collection. But anyway, as I digressed, so here we go. The Inquisition, Inquisitorial Archive, Omnis 56C16, Orders of the Inquisition. Note that the information contained within this report is classified Vermilion. Dissemination of the following records beyond the bounds of Inquisitorial Orders is to be considered treason, punishable by excommunication and execution, or archoflagellation. So this is another report, this time a report on the Inquisition themselves. So it covers what the Inquisition is, who the Inquisitors are, and the many different branches of the Inquisition. This will cover the 3 major orders, but there are many others that deal with time, controlling of events that need to happen throughout the galaxy, etc. But the 3 main ones are, we have the Ordo Hereticus, which we know of already. These are the Witch Hunters, primarily work alongside the Battle Sisters of the Ecclesiarchy. And while some of them are Psykers, they have a particular hatred for Psykers and heretics. We also have the Ordo Xenos, who focus on eliminating alien threats. So here we see a Genestealer cult uprising here. And the Ordo Xenos will, of course, find and eliminate any Xenos. They will, of course, try to stop the use of Xenos technology, but are often sometimes using it themselves. There is Inquisitor Draxus. She wields a Eldar Shuriken pistol. So she's not exactly the most anti-Xenos Inquisitor out of them all. But there is, of course, Inquisitor Cryptman, who was the foremost expert on the Tyranid race, and many others, of course. And finally, we have the Ordo Malleus, the demon-hunting hand of the Inquisition, often fighting alongside the forces of the Grey Knights. They seek to eliminate and control the knowledge of everything chaos. The less humanity knows, the better. So there we have the 3 major orders of the Inquisition. So moving on, we got a brand new war zone. This is Manask. So when the Torchbearer Task Force Conqueror's Forge reached Manask, home of the Ebon Sentinels chapter, they found the system locked down by the Grey Knights. So this features the Grey Knights and Chaos. So the Ebon Sentinels were a well-celebrated chapter of the Astartes until a incident that had gone unrecorded blacked their name. Of course, throughout the intervening years, they have brought many worlds back into Imperial compliance, and now have a plaque of honour dedicated to them on the cardinal world of Ophelia 7. It wasn't until the Torchbearer Task Force started spreading throughout the galaxy and eventually came to the Manask system, where they found that the Conqueror's Forge, the task force itself, found the Ebon Sentinels chapter world to be a little unwelcoming. The chapter had gone into decline, and they have even made pacts with the demonic. The Grey Knights shadowed the Torchbearer Task Force to the planetary system and started systematic elimination of the Ebon Sentinels. Silencing of Phion's Choir was an integral battle. This eliminated the Astropathic Choir on one of the Ebon Sentinels' planets. Terminators, Brigators, and Sentinels were deployed on a gunship to destroy their foe's capacity to call for aid. The Purging of Vengla. Prognosticars, the Titan to foreseen the greatest danger emanating from the dead world of Vengla. Having dealt with the Ebon Sentinels' primary defences, the Grey Knights struck at Vengla, where they discovered the ancient demonic presence imprisoned in its core. So not everything went very well for that particular task force. And here we have a short story. So this is the Festering Hordes featuring the Grey Knights against the Demons of Nurgle. A demonic infestation has overrun the orbital shipyards above Harrengear. Foreseeing the contamination of this valuable world, Grey Knights have dispatched a strike force to cleanse the docks before Nurgle's foul contagion makes its way to the teeming population below. So this gives a nice little claustrophobic kind of fight between forces of Nurgle and a squad of Grey Knight Paladins. So, it's pretty cool. It goes into detail about how the station itself is actually starting to boil up with pustules and various other types of plague. And most of the crew on it have been turned into shambling poxwalkers. There we have a Grey Knight piercing a Plague Bearer with his Nemesis Force halberd. And we have the weapon of choice, the Incinerator, which we get to see in action in the story. So it's a really good story. Definitely read it if you haven't already. And this will be the last of our short stories, because after this issue, the stories are getting a bit bigger and more detailed. So it's going to be some interesting stories coming up. I've read 62s and, ooh, that is really gives me chills. Moving on then, we are building our Tombblade. So we start much the same way as the last one. I will note that I tried building this particular section the way it says, but the vents went too far out the side. So 12 and 13 I think should go on this side, and 11 and 10 should go on this side. Not too sure if it's just me or doing something wrong, but I found it definitely swapping over was beneficial to the construction. Then we are attaching the rider here, so we're building the torso, the head and the legs, and slotting them in place. It does, again, show the arms already built there, but we aren't doing that until the next stage. So we glue the arms on and the cables connecting him to his vehicle. And then we're building our weapon. So we got the particle caster here. We attached the blade vanes there. We got the sensor that goes in here. So he hasn't got any special auger. He's just rather basic sensor system. And then we have the shield, the extra arm plates going on there. And then we choose either the tall or the shorter of the flying stands. I think I've used all my very short ones, so I'm going to have to just go with the medium-sized one. So then I have 3 at different heights. But that's what our Tombblade will look like when he's finished. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the particle weapons. I just don't find them to be all I get. They're good against, I suppose, low toughness armies like Tau, Guard, and Sisters. But really, particle, I think it used to be a very deadly weapon back in the old Necron Codex, but it's not as good as it used to be. Right, last thing to cover then is our paint guide. So if you are painting your Tombblades as the magazine shows, this is how we want to do it. So we want to give 3 coats of Rune Brass all over. Start picking out the gaps and some of the spinal network in Abaddon Black and the veins and the particle caster itself. We're then picking out silver details with lead belcher, picking out various parts on the gun and Tombblade itself. We're then applying Corax White to the lenses and cables, ready for Tesseract Glow in a few issues' time. We then paint Canoptic Alloy over the face and the shoulder plates. We apply Cryptic Armor Shade Gloss all over the Rune Lord Brass, Nuln Oil over the Lead Belcher. Details there, and then Reikland Flesh Shade over the Canoptic Alloy there. We're then edge highlighting the silver and brass with Stormhost Silver. edge highlighting the guns with Stormstone, and then a fine highlight of Administratum Grey, and that's our updated Toonblade. So there we go, that's it for the contents of this issue so far. We will cover this, of course, in a separate video, which will be at the end of the week. We are using brand new maps for the first time, so it'll be quite nice. It's only a small game, but it's going to start off a story, and we got learning about Battleforged armies, so that's going to be cool. Alright, there we have it. That was issue 61 of Imperium. I'm off to put this guy together, and all what's left for me to do is say thank you all for watching. Of course, there is, I just remembered, the question of the video. So I guess my question of the video is, would you like the special issue covered when I get it? I think I'll be doing it myself, but I'd like to know what the rest of you feel like in the comment section down below, and if not, any comment would be welcomed. I just love having a good old natter with you all. It helps the channel out, and it just helps spread more connection between this community of ours. But as I was saying, thank you all for watching. Be sure, of course, to like the video if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, because it will help the channel out, and you'll get to be the first to know about more mad content from myself. And that is everything. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.